Yo, what's up? It's Tempide. I got another video today, and this one's gonna be a little longer. So we're gonna be ranking all the SMGs in Modern Warfare. So we're gonna be talking about the AUG, the P90, the MP5, the Uzi, the Bison, and the MP7. I won't be including the Striker 45, the Fennec, or the ISA though because they're DLC guns. So I won't be ranking these guns from like stats or anything. I'm just gonna rank them just from my personal opinion. So for the first gun, we have the AUG. Before I start though, I do want to just go over my class real quick for it. So I have the 6.22 long barrel, the Forge Tech CQB comb, stippled grip tape, 32 round mags, and the Merc 4 grip. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really the biggest fan of the AUG. I mean, it's kind of just one of those weapons where it's like, it's not bad, but it's nothing crazy. Nothing really caught my attention from using the AUG. It was just kind of a normal weapon. It was just too balanced and nothing really awesome about it. I do think that it's still a good weapon. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really my favorite. The range on it can be good because you can change the ammo from 9mm rounds to, I think they're 5.56 rounds or whatever, which make it more of like an assault rifle than an SMG. I mean, the accuracy on the gun isn't too bad. There's not too much recoil, well, with the right attachments obviously, but I mean, it doesn't kick too hard, and I think it's pretty accurate. I think the thing that just throws me off most about it is just kind of the damage, and just kind of, it's just mid, honestly. I mean, no one really uses this gun. I mean, people obviously use it, but it's just not one of those guns that you see people using all the time, like an MP5 or an M4. It's just kind of one of those guns that's just there, but no one really wants to use it. But it's not bad when you do use it. It's just, I don't know, the gun just never really interested me. Overall, I think that the gun is just too balanced and it's just nothing crazy, but it's cool. Our next gun is the P90. Again, I just want to go over the class real quick. I have the monolithic suppressor, the Forge Tech retribution barrel, the fly strap, stippled grip tape, and stippled grip tape. Personally, I really like the P90 mainly because of its accuracy. There's not much kick to it or recoil, and it's just, it seems really accurate, and the bullets are just pretty straight and they don't like fly all over the place. But of course, you know, you need the right attachments, but I think just the gun feels really clean to use.
Reloading.
I do think that the P90 is somewhat OP, but they try to balance it out because there's no option to change the mag size on it. It's just stuck at 50 rounds. So if it had more, then I would consider it to be a little OP. But I think that like they try to balance it out, but I still think that it's pretty OP.
Changing max. Zone out.
If I had to choose something that I don't like about it, I would have to say probably the range on it. just because, I mean, it's an SMG, so it's obviously gonna have not the greatest range, but it just takes a lot of hit markers for kills from far range instead of, like, you know, close range. You get a few hit markers and he's dead, but when it's far range, it takes a lot of hits to kill someone. Another thing that I don't like is the lack of attachments for it, or the variety of attachments, because there's only 2 options for barrels, and it's only like stippled grip tape for the underbarrel and the rear grip, and there's just not really a variety of stuff to use to really improve it. It's just kinda, I mean, it's OP, but it's just like, there's not really anything that you can change about it that makes a drastic difference, but it's still good though. Overall, I would say it's pretty basic but OP. And next we have the MP5. Once again, I'm going to show my class real quick. I have the monolithic integral suppressor barrel. I have the classic straight line stock, stippled grip tape, 10mm rounds, and I have the Merc foregrip.
Not that one.
So the thing with the MP5 is it used to be really OP, and you know, everyone would be using it, and it was like the gun to use. But now it's just like it got nerfed so many times that it's like it's still good and it's still pretty OP, but it's just not as OP as it used to be. I do like the variety of attachments on it, because unlike the P90, you can change a lot of different stuff on it, like the different type of ammo, and like you can have different barrels and stocks and all sorts of stuff, and it's just, you have a bigger variety instead of just, you know, the same boring stuff. So that's something I do like about it. I think that I would definitely have a lot better things to say about it if it didn't get nerfed like 5 times. I still think the gun is super good, and it's definitely OP. People have kind of stopped using it, like they've switched on to other guns just because this got nerfed a lot. But I mean, something I like about it though are the 10mm rounds, because it increases the damage and range on it, so it's better there.
Changing mags.
I do think though that, in my opinion, the MP5 has some of the best mobility out of like all the SMGs. There is probably a couple that are pretty close, but I think that with the right attachments you can have super good mobility for like rushing and, you know, searching the shore or something like that. But overall, I would say that this gun got nerfed a lot, but I still think that it's one of the best SMGs, and that it's, you know, it's pretty good. And next up we have the Uzi. And for the class I was using, I had the monolithic suppressor, the FSS carbine pro barrel, stippled grip tape, AE 32 round mags, and the Merc foregrip. I think that right now the Uzi is probably my favorite gun to use, and I think that because of just like the accuracy and just like the damage, and it's just super accurate. And I think that it's because you have to do challenges to get these, but the AE 32 round mags and the FSS carbine pro barrel make the gun like 5 times better, and it makes it a lot more OP. But if you do the challenges, it's definitely worth it because it makes the gun a lot more accurate. I mean, there's not much I don't like about this gun, and honestly, I guess the only thing I don't really like is probably the iron sight. I mean, I don't know, there's not much to say about it, to be honest, but I mean, the iron sight is just kind of weird, but I mean, I think that just overall, it's nothing really that bad about it. The range is super good, and just everything about it is just super accurate. So overall, I would say that it's pretty good. And next we have the Bison. So my Bison class is the monolithic suppressor, the polygonal barrel, the 1 milliwatt laser, the skeleton stock, and stippled grip tape. With the Bison, again, it's just kind of one of those guns that just kind of, it feels pretty balanced, but I mean, it's also OP at the same time. Like, it's not like the AUG where it's too balanced and it's just boring to use. It's good, but you just have to hit your shots with it. And I mean, I think that another reason it's OP too is because of the round size. You have 64 rounds in the clip, and the damage is, I mean, that's what makes it balanced, is the damage isn't as good as some of the other SMGs because it has so many rounds. But if you're just accurate, I mean, this thing is really pretty good. And with the Bison, the mobility isn't as good as some of the other SMGs, but I still think that it's pretty decent because, I mean, you can obviously take off the stock, like, a lot of weapons and just make it good like that. Another thing too is, I don't think that this gun really has, like, you know, bad recoil or too much kick to it. I think that it's pretty accurate, and you know, your bullets aren't all over the place when you're shooting someone, unless it's like far range, then that might happen. I think though that this gun does pretty well at most ranges, and it's just kind of pretty balanced, and overall it's just, you know, all around just pretty balanced, and it's good. And for our last gun, we have the MP7. Real quick, I'm gonna go over the class I have. I have the monolithic suppressor, FSS recon, Merc foregrip, 60 round mags, and stippled grip tape. Something that, like, one of my favorite things about the MP7 is 1, its accuracy, and 2, its fire rate. I think the MP7 might have the best fire rate out of the SMGs, but I think it might be pretty close with the P90 because they both have pretty fast fire rate. But unlike the P90, the MP7 has a lot of stuff and attachments that you can change on it, and it definitely improves it. I also think that the MP7 has really good mobility too, because with the stock off and, you know, just certain attachments, it's a really good gun mobility wise. And I like how there's not a lot of kick and recoil either, and I think compared to the P92, because of the fire rate and how they're similar, I do think though that the MP7 does more damage and it's more accurate. I'm not sure, but that's just kind of what I think about it. If I had to choose between the MP7 and the P90, I would definitely have to choose the MP7. But I think overall, with the variety of attachments and the fire rate and damage, it's definitely one of my favorite SMGs. Now ranking the SMGs, I have the AUG at number 6, the Bison at number 5, the P90 at number 4, the MP5 at number 3, the MP7 at number 2, which leaves number 1 for the Uzi. And, you know, people can debate me with this because of the stats and stuff for it, but just in my opinion, I just like the accuracy of the Uzi and the damage range, and just like overall it's super good. The fire rate isn't the greatest, but with the damage it definitely balances out. Even the hip fire is super good with it, and like the right attachments you can have on it, then it just makes it super OP. It's definitely one of my favorite guns right now, and it's, in my opinion, the best SMG. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think the best SMG is, and I hope you guys enjoyed.